Hello and welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to use command line terminal to write Python code. Okay, so basically by the end of this tutorial, you will be able to understand how to use command line terminal. So I'll just say terminal and how to use it to write any kind of code. So you can even create complex projects without using any code editor. So fundamentally what happens whenever you take any kind of course online or anywhere you go, like they suggest you to download a code editor and start coding right away. Okay, now there are a lot of advantages for using that code editor, no doubt, because they make you more productive as compared to simply writing every single point. So basically they give you a lot of like tools and functionalities that you can use to become more productive as a developer. But the problem with with this approach is that many beginners do not understand command line terminal, and they start to hate that terminal. So kind of like they're scared of using that, they avoid it as much as they can. So that is something you have to understand, that it's really important to use command line terminal, and you have to use the terminal so that let's say one day all the code editors in the market, let's say they decide to go behind a paywall, or let's say the company supporting those editors, they stop supporting them. So in that case you lose all your favorite editors and you won't have anything. And if you do not know how to use command line terminal, then you won't be able to code, right? So it's really important to understand how to use terminal and how you can write everything within this terminal, and even create complex projects without touching any kind of professional editors available in the market. So that is the goal of this video. In this video I'm going to discuss all of these things and teach you everything from scratch. So let's get started. So right now I am on my desktop. Okay, and here you can see like my look and feel is quite different, and if you are on another system you'll have a different look and feel. Okay, but that's not something you should care about, because all we need is our terminal. So if you're on Mac or Windows, just make sure to search for command prompt or terminal, and you'll see something like this, some icon, something like this. Okay, so I'm on Linux currently, so I'm seeing this terminal, and you'll see the same icon on your computer. Just try to search command prompt on Windows and terminal maybe on Mac. So just figure it out. So this is something you'll see, and we are going to simply use this thing and nothing else. So just open this command prompt or terminal, and make sure to maximize it so that we can have a distraction free look and feel, so that we can code without any kind of worry. Basically command prompts and other terminals, like they appear in small windows, but you can simply maximize them to fit the full screen. Once you have that, just try to ensure that Python is installed on your computer. And also for this tutorial you should be familiar with Python, at least basics. And I'm not this is not actually a tutorial on Python, it is basically a tutorial on how to use terminal to build Python projects. Okay, so once you have the terminal opened, just make sure to Python is there. Just make sure to check the version of Python. If you have the Python, you will get this message. Okay, if you're not getting this message, if you're getting any kind of error, that simply means Python is not accessible system wise, and there is some issue with your path variable. So these things happen when you install Python at a different location, and path variable is not set. So if you want to know how to install Python properly so that it is accessible from your terminal, please watch my another video where I have discussed this whole thing. And once you're done with that, then get back to this video and then start from here. Okay, so once you have this Python message, what you can do, you can simply type Python to start it. Okay, so just type Python and you'll see this message, this whole thing. Okay, so here you will see Python 3.12.2 version, and then you will see some text here, and then here you will see 4 arrows, and here this point. Okay, so it's like this is the cursor where you can start writing your code. So let's say I want to write 5 plus 6, so this should give me 11. So this is how, like, you can execute your code. So this is really simple, right? So without installing any code editor, without anything, you are able to do that. And this is really like straightforward. And if you want to write a function, then you can simply, like, write, let's say we are writing num_sum and we are accepting a and b, and like, here you will see that the cursor, that it does not format anything. So unlike code editors where you automatically get the indentations, here that's not happening, right? So what happens in terminal, you have to actually format your code on your own. So nobody is going to format it for you, so you have to format it on your own. And many people do not even know how many indentations are used, so you have to really know how many indentations to use. So basically it's 4 indentations right from here, right from the beginning. Just try to press spacebar 4 times, 1 2 3 4, and then you can start writing a plus b. Okay, and then press enter. You will get another like dot lines. It's just saying that, hey, you want to write more. If you do not want to write more, just simply press enter, and you will again get these 4 arrows. So this is how you can write your function. And if you want to execute this function, you can, like, simply, let's say, just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just storing the value within another variable. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you that you can use this way. Okay, you can even directly use the function, so that's not an issue. I was just trying to show you that you can actually do this. Now you should keep this thing in mind, that you have to be really careful with what you are typing, because you cannot go back to your code and, like, correct your mistakes. So you won't be able to do that. That is the limitation of the terminal. You won't be able to go back to a particular line and you will start editing that thing. So that is not something you will be able to do. Okay, but there is a way. You can simply press the up arrow and you will get the same previous line, and then you can edit that from there. So here you can see, in case you have some kind of mistake in your previous line, then you can simply do that. Okay, so let's say if I am writing num and then I'm making some mistake here, sum. Okay, so it should give me like, hey, num sum is not defined. Did you mean num sum? So, like, Python is pointing out, did you mean num sum, because that's not defined. So what now you cannot go back to the same line and correct your mistakes. So what you can do, you can simply press the up arrow and you will get the same line, previous line, and then you can like do backspace, because you cannot click there, but it is giving you some like little bit access. It's not giving you the proper point where you can press and write that, but you can use backspace and then you can simply write num sum 4 5, let's say it should be 9. So this is how you can, like, do that. Now you can even import libraries and everything in the same manner, because essentially what's it's actually like a code editor kind of, but you are not seeing all the formatting, all the things, all the lines and everything, but it's kind of like working, right? Now the problem is Python comes with a really basic tool, so it does not allow you to build complex projects. So you are not going to able to create a new file, write code in that, then import and do all the things, like you will be able to do that. You will be able to achieve that for the short course, like you can use f.write, f.open, and within those things you can write all the codes, but you won't be able to use REPL. So whatever Python comes with, it's called REPL. So you won't be able to use this Python shell and basic Python shell, and you won't be able to work on complex projects. So to build, like, complex projects, we need another tool. So that is kind of like a little bit modern version of this what Python offers, and we are going to use that and that will actually change everything. So the look and feel and everything, a lot of things comes with that tool. So which tool I am talking about? But first, let's exit and go back to the where we started. So this is where we started. So let's go back there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to exit from here. What you can do, you can simply use this exit, or you can simply write Control plus D. So if you just click enter, it will give you use exit or Control plus D to exit. So you can simply write Control plus D and you will exit from there. Okay, it may ask you to yes or no, then you can click yes and you will be exit. So now I have all these all this text here. What we can do, if you want to clear all the things on the screen, you can simply write clear and everything will get clear. So this is like the basic. We have learned about how we can use the Python, simple Python, and how we can use what the Python shell to run the code. But the Python shell is not limited, not really fit for like complex projects. So it only allows you to test your small code or things like that. But if you want to really work with the help of terminal on your bigger projects, then you will need another tool, and that tool is called IPython. So in this tutorial, what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you how to use IPython to build your complex projects. And IPython actually modifies all the core things, and it actually gives you look and feel of a code editor within the terminal. Okay, so to get it started in IPython, first of all you have to install IPython. Okay, so just make sure to write this command pip install IPython, and once you have pressed enter, it will install this IPython library for you. Okay, but I'm not going to install that because it is already there on my system. So just make sure to install it, and then get back to this video. Alright, so once we have installed IPython, just make sure that it is on your system. Just it has been properly installed and accessible in the terminal. Just write this command IPython version. It should give you some version. It should not be the same as my version, but it has to be something like that. Okay, once you have verified that it has been installed properly, you can move ahead. Okay, so just like we wrote Python to get started, I am just going to write IPython. Okay, and once I am clicking enter, it is going to give me the similar text, but here notice that we have some changes. So earlier we were getting 4 arrows, but right now we are getting line 1. Okay, so this is like a little bit modern look and feel, and it has other functionality as well. We will explore that as we use this tool. So it's a little bit better than what we were getting previously, and we'll also be able to use this tool to work on complex projects. So that is what we are going to discuss. Okay, so let's say we are writing 4 plus 5. Notice that it is already showing me that hey, you want to write 4 plus 5. It is giving me some suggestions as well, just like the code editors. If you have already written some code previously, then it is going to show you that message. Okay, it kind of stores everything in a history and recommends to you like, hey, this is what you're trying to write. So once you have done that, simply press enter and you will see that there is output 1. So output of line 1 is 9, right? So this is really good looking, and is kind of better as compared to what we had previously. So now if I'm writing some function, let's say find sum. Okay, so as you can see, it's giving me the recommendation. So one more thing you notice here, we do not have to format things. So sometimes what it does, it formats things automatically for you, but sometimes you will have to format it on your own. So IPython is really helpful there. Sometimes it does the formatting, sometimes it does not. So I'm not really sure why it does that, but still just keep in mind that you have to add 4 spaces right from the beginning. And once you have done that, like you can return this, return a plus p, and press enter again, and then you can like write this like it is giving auto completion. So here you have find some 4 5 9. Okay, so it's like like really cool as compared to what we had previously. So it's kind of giving us the look and feel of a code editor, right? And once you start writing code in this, you will get more comfortable writing codes in this terminal, and you'll really enjoy it. And this is really like a game changer as compared to the basic Python. Okay, now let's see what we can do with the help of IPython, and how we can like work on complex projects, and how we can create files and folders, and how we can work on all the things. Now IPython comes with various functions. So those functions are called magic functions. So what that means is like it has some pre-configured functions which are like designed to help you out with some things. So like if you want to write, if you want to save, if you want to edit things, so like it has some kind of like configurations, and those configurations are called like magic functions, and you can use those magic functions in your code to work on things. So let's say if I am writing like 4 plus 5 or 7 plus 9, and I want to check how much time it takes to finish the execution of that particular code. So let's say if I'm writing uh, like this magic function. So there are several magic functions that you can check out in their documentation, but I'll also discuss some of the important ones in this particular video, so don't worry about that. So if you want to write a magic function, you simply have to use the percentage symbol, and percentage symbol will simply like uh, like it will start suggesting you some functions. So if I'm using this one single percentage, this simply means it is applicable to this particular line. If I'm using double percentage symbol, that means for the multiple lines this whole thing will be applicable. Okay, and that is a difference. So like there is single percentage, then there is double percentage. So whenever you have single percentage written in front of a function, that is applicable to a single line. When you double, it is applicable to all the lines below it. Okay, and let's say if I am writing 8 plus 2, and I want to check how much time it will take to run this code. So this is the magic function that is provided by IPython, and it helps us identify how much time it is taking for our code to run. So if I am pressing enter, it will take some time, but it will give me the output, okay, after performing the test. So if you are writing a particular code and you want to check how much time it is taking to run that code, then it is going to perform some tests on the code, and it will give you the output. So the output here is 10.2 nanosecond plus minus 0.108 nanosecond per loop. Okay, mean plus standard deviation of 7 runs and 100 million loops is. So it's like what it is doing here, it's really like like a big number, 100 million loops. What is that? So basically what happens when you are writing 1 plus 8 plus 2 here, it is being executed in a very small time, and that time is so minuscule, that it's so small that it is really difficult for your computer to measure that time, and it is not possible for the computer to output that time. So what this code does, this code actually runs 8 plus 2 100 million times, and it does that 7 times. And what it does, it takes the average and gives you like the output 10.2 nanoseconds, and this is like a standard deviation. That means when the tests are performed 7 times and 100 million 7 times, then some averages are getting a little bit deviated. So you can expect that on an average this code will run with this average 10.2 nanosecond, and it is doing this just to give you a consistent time, because it is not going to be able to give you the small time it takes to run that code. So that's why it is performing multiple tests in order to get the whole figure. So like in order to get some exact data, some readable data. That is the main idea here. So it is performing multiple tests so that it can give you like a real data, a consistent readable data, so that you can get an idea of like if you are running this code this many times, then you will get this whole thing. So that is not something important, just I explained it to you because that's how you have to interpret it. Okay, so the time it function is like a way of knowing how to how to like check how much time my function is taking. So if I'm writing like time it, okay, and if I'm writing a function, let's say 5 ab, okay, find sum 2 3 4, okay, so write this a plus b, all right, and if you're pressing enter, then it is going to analyze that thing. Okay, so I used double percentage symbol here because this is for the multi-lines. So we have multi-lines here, so it is going to analyze that for the multi-lines. Now see, it is taking some time because it is performing all the tests for the this many loops, and it is giving me like a consistent number here, so that 155 nanoseconds, so that this is like a human readable number, and that is something we can do. So this is how you can use time it function. This is called magic function, which is provided by IPython. So this is something like you can use in your code in case you want to figure out how much time your code takes to run, and you can get an idea of that. Okay, like it's really suitable for comparison purpose, not exactly for like you won't be getting much information by just checking the time it takes for the code to run, because that's not really useful. Okay, so unless you are comparing, do not use it. Okay, now before we move forward, let's try to understand how we can work with the directories. So many beginners do not know how to navigate through directories using command line. So we are going to learn about basic command lines, and we are going to use that just to navigate through the directories. So like on your computer you have your file systems, then within the file systems you are able to like use like all the locations available to you, and you are able to like figure out where you are currently. But here, with the help of command line, we are going to write some code, and it will give us the path where we are, the folder name, files name, and everything. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. So currently we are in the IPython interface, okay, and we can exit from here as well. So if you just simply do this and press enter, you will exit from that. But IPython also provides you a way to use your this particular interface currently available to us, and navigate through all the directories we have. So basically you have to use exclamation mark, okay, and this exclamation mark is like you use this just to use all the system commands available to use. But if you are writing like hey, where I am currently in the folder, where I am, I do not know where I am in, like what is my current path. So how you can do that? You can simply write this command pwd, and this is going to give you like hey, you are currently here, home, and this path, whatever path it is. Okay, so it is going to give you this home k lecture, and whatever location you are currently in, so it is going to print the working directory. So this means pw means print the working directory, and this exclamation marks is only used within the IPython. It is not used within the command terminal. So if you are using command terminal, then in that case you can simply write pwd. But IPython has a different way of writing. Just you have to use exclamation mark, and then you can write the command. So whatever command you have written. So if I am exiting from here, just to show you that in this terminal. So when you are in this terminal without IPython, so here you can simply use pwd. Okay, so if I'm writing this pwd command, so this is like giving you this whole thing, and like here it is not very consistent with this thing, but you can simply just ignore this thing, and you can simply write pwd. So only in like IPython you have to use exclamation mark and then all the commands. So the pwd is available command which is there in every terminal, but this exclamation mark is specific to the IPython. Okay, so now let me get back to the IPython. Okay, and I'm going to write clear. Okay, once I have this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to write pwd to get the current working directory, and then I'm going to use this command ls. So what this command is going to do, it is going to give me all the content within the present working directory. Okay, so here you can see I have all these contents. So these are like the main contents, not the contents within contents. So like you are not getting files within these folders. So if you are having some other structure, then you will see all the other options. Okay, so as you can see, I have desktop documents and videos, miniconda, music, picture projects, music projects, public trusts, and these are like the folder names. And if I want to move into a particular folder, what I can do, I can use a command cd. So notice that I am using percentage symbol here, so I'm not using like this exclamation marks. Why? This means there's a kind of like you can use this, but sometimes like it works, sometimes it does not work, so it gives you unexpected behavior. So IPython recommends that in this case, this is just an exception. When you are changing directory, so cd means change the directory. If you are changing the directory, you have to use this magic function cd, and just avoid using exclamation marks in this case only. So like for the rest other cases you can use exclamation marks, but in this case you have to use this. And once you have that, you can select the projects or whatever folder that you are trying to go into. I'm going into projects, and then again I'm going to check this pwd. Okay, so we are in projects now. If you are moving into some other folder, then you can do that as well. Now once I'm in projects, what I'm going to do, I'm going to write this ls to check the content within it. As you can see, I have 4 more folders within it, and if let's say if I want to see everything, so everything within all the folders and everything, what I can do, I can write a command called tree. Okay, so as you can see, all the folders and all the directories that I have and all the files that I have, that I am getting this whole tree structure, and the structures are in a manner the way their hierarchy is arranged. So it's kind of like whatever files are within whatever folder, that is shown here. So it's like a tree. So what happens in your computer, all the files and folders are stored in a data structure called trees, and this is kind of like a very efficient data structure that allows you to navigate through all the files and folders quickly. So it's like something you must be familiar with if you are familiar with data structures and algorithms. So as you can see, like I have these folders name, class tutorial projects, Python. Here I have algorithms. Okay, so all the algorithms written here. Then I have like YouTube tutorials and things like that. So these are like giving you an overall picture of what is within a particular directory. So this is for the directory projects. Okay, now if I want to move into this project, which is a folder within projects, I want to, let's say, move into that. So I'm going to write cd and let's say project. Okay, I am now, let's say, I'm currently into project. Okay, now if I'm checking anything, the project folder is currently empty. So if you navigate to your file manager and check your project, so let's say if I'm checking this folder is empty, so that's why I'm not getting any output here. Okay, now if I'm creating, let's say, a file here, if I'm creating, let's say, a new folder. Okay, now let's say new. Okay, if I'm creating this and if I'm typing this once again, what I get here, we have new. Okay, and if I am deleting it, okay, so let's say move it to trash, and if I'm writing this once again, now again it's gone. Okay, so this is like I was just showing you that it will give you all the content within that. We can actually remove and do all the things with the command line only. You do not have to move into your file manager to do that. So once we have these commands, what we can do, we can now create a folder or files. So let's say I want to, currently we're in project, I want to create a new folder. What I can do, I can use mkdir. This mkdir simply means, hey, make directory, make a folder within it. So if I want to create a folder, let's say I want to create a folder named game. Okay, if I want to create like multiple folders, what I can do, I can write name, I can write website, whatever, like I'm just going to create a single folder. You simply have to write their names by typing this. If you have like a folder name which is 2 words, then just try to use like try to write it in this manner. So do not write new and folder. If you are writing in that manner, there will be 2 folders, new and folder. Those will be separate. So let me show you what this means. Okay, so if I'm writing ls, so I have folder, game, new and new folder. Okay, so when you are writing in this manner, then only it will be accepted. If you are writing new and folder, then that name will not be taken, to treat it as 2 separate names. So if you check here, so here as you can see, I have folder, game, new and new folder. Okay, so it's like notice here, like it's kind of adding them together. So it's concatenating everything. So like there is no space. Now if you want to like get rid of these folders, so I have created these folders and now I want to remove them. So let's first see how we can create files. So for creating folders, we use makedir, which is make directory. If I want to create files, I'm going to use touch command. Okay, so touch command is used for creating files. So if I'm writing, let's say game.py, no, not game.py, like if let's say some other, so Python, okay, Python tutorial.py. Okay, and this is one file. If I'm doing it, if I'm checking ls, what is this is going to give me, this is going to show me this, there is a Python tutorial.py. so we can confirm it here. So there is a Python tutorial.py. Now if I want to like create a file within a particular folder, so if I want to create a file within folder game or new, so let's say if you want, you can use touch, you can write the folder name, then slash, okay, and then you can use like let's say game.py. if I want to write if I want to create another, I can write main.py. if I want to create, let's say within a folder, I want to create, let's say another file, I can write main.py, some things like that. Okay, and if you check the tree structure, if you're checking ls, this is only going to give you the main one, but it's not going to show you the files. But if you're writing tree, it is going to show you the structure. So here we created like game.py within the game, and we have main.py within the game, and we have like main.py within the folder. Okay, so this is how we created everything, and you can use this particular approach to create folders whenever, let's say, you're working on a complex project and you want to create files and folders. That way you can do that. Use makedir if you want to create folder, use touch if you want to create like files. You can also specify the path where you want to create, and you can also write multiple lines if you want to create that. And you can verify this by visiting your file manager. Here we have game, and we have game.py, main.py, and within this folder we should have main.py. Okay, so as you can see, we are able to create folders directly from this command line. So this is how you can like create files and folder. So I hope this concept is clear to you. Just try to practice, and once you have practiced like these concepts, you'll automatically get used to these commands. Okay, so it's no big deal. Just try to open your terminal and write these commands, and you just get an idea. Now let's talk about how we can remove these files. Okay, so here what we are doing, we have to delete it, we move it to trash if we or we delete it. But here if you want to let's say remove the file, what we can do, we can simply write rm. So this is going to, rm is for the file. So there are two commands. I'll just make it clear. So if I have to remove tutorial.py, so this is not a folder, this is a file. So first of all you have to identify whether it is a file or it is a folder. Okay, so here we are, let's say, trying to get rid of this particular file. So it is a file, so I'm going to use rm, and I'm going to write python tutorial. Then just make sure that you are writing the correct name. So rm python tutorial.py. okay, so let's see. And now if I'm going to check the tree structure, the rm tutorial, the python tutorial is gone. Okay, so here as you can see the file is gone. All right, now since it was file, we use this. Now what if I want to delete the folder? So there are two conditions. Folder is empty, folder is not empty. So there are content within the folder, and there are folders that are empty. So if you want to get rid of empty folders, simply use rmdir and write the folder name you want to get rid of, new. Okay, so you can write rmdir new folder, let's say. So new folder is like two words, so I'm going to write new folder. So I'm going to write it like this. Okay, sorry, the name was, if there was some spelling error, I'm going to write new folder. All right, now let's check. So as you can see, new and folder is gone. So when the folders are empty, what you can do, you can use this command. Okay, but when folders have content in them, there is another way to there is a different rule. So when folders are empty, use rmdir, and when folders are not empty, what you can use another command. So this command is called rm. It is similar to removing the files. Okay, rm, but here we have r. So what this r means, so if I want to get rid of folder and I want to get rid of name, what I'm going to do, I'm going to write this and just check. So as you can see, everything is gone, right? So this, what this r is doing, r simply means recursion. So what you are doing, you are recursively deleting all the files and all the folders. Okay, so it's a tree structure, so it kind of traverses all the tree nodes and deletes everything in a recursion manner. Recursively, like kind of it goes through everything and removes everything within it. So it's kind of like a way of deleting everything within the particular working directory. So that is something you have to keep in mind, and this is how you can delete it. Now the idea here is to practice these commands, and once you are comfortable with these commands, you can move ahead. Okay, so just get comfortable writing these commands, because these commands are really important, and you will be using these commands in other other places as well. So you won't be using the exclamation marks because this is specific to the IPython, but you will be using these commands. So these are these are specific to the terminal, so you can use these commands in any terminal that you are using. Okay, so even if you open code editor and if you open terminal, then you will be able to use these commands. Okay, so just get comfortable writing these commands and try to write these commands if you want to deal with your folders and everything. So it's not like these are the only commands available. There are also tons of other commands, but these are like the most important ones that you will be using. And just try to search on Google, or maybe ask ChatGPT for other command prompts, other commands available in the terminal, and you will get a lot of commands, and that is something you should know, and I believe every beginner, every developer should know these commands. And once you have the idea of these commands, we can now move to you can say creating some complex projects. So we can use IPython now. With these skills, I can what I can do, I can create a folder, I can create files, and I can work on any project I want, right?
So I can write a code within that folder. Now that is the next thing that I'm going to show, how you can access a file and you can write code within that. Okay, so let's say first let's make it, just clean it. Let's say I have like a code def find sum, so I'm writing this same thing again. All right, now in this case, now I have, let's say, another function. So what I want to do, I want to find I want to, let's say, what okay, I want to print say person name, and then I'm going to write how are you, okay, and oh, that's it. Yeah, okay. Now once once we have written our code, so let's say we have our code. So here just notice that it is treating it as line 21, but we have like multiple lines, right? So it is kind of like different as compared to what you do in the code editors. There you will get the lines for every other line, but here you are getting kind of getting line for this a separate ones. But internally it kind of treats everything as line only. Once you are done with writing your code, so you can write a big code or anything. Once you are done writing the code, what you can do, you can simply like use another command. So what command you can use? So currently let's first check which directory we are in. So we are currently in project. So now I want to save my file within this project. If you want to create a new folder, you can do that, but if you want to save it, you can simply write, hey, use this is another magic command, save. And what I want to do, I want to write like, hey, like script.py. Okay, and now what you have to do, you have to specify the range of that particular code. So whatever line that you have written, so this function is in line 29 and this is 30, right? So you have to specify that here. So you have to specify that from 29 to 30 you want to write everything. Okay, so from 29 to 30 you want to save everything within the file. So if you are not writing anything here, it is going to save all the other previous things that we did earlier. Okay, so before the 929 whatever things we did, it is going to save everything within the script.py. But we do not want that. We only want to save this these two lines where our main code is. So I can write 2930. Okay, now what this is going to do, this is going to save everything from 29 to 30 within script.py. okay, so notice this message appears, the following commands were written to file script.py. okay, so these commands were written to script.py. Now if I'm going to my project folder, and here I see script.py, and if I'm opening this file, what I'm getting, yes, this code is actually written there, right? So with the help of our terminal, we have actually managed to write a code. So this way you will be able to write your entire code and save it to your file. Okay, so that way you'll be able to save everything to a file. You can write a code and save it to the file. And I've already explained how you can create all the structures, file structure and folder structures, and you can do that. Now what happens, you want to run this particular file. So if you want to run it, use another magic command. Okay, so it is run. Okay, and another way of running is using Python, okay, script.py, but that is not a kind of recommendation from my end, because when you are using this run magic command, it gives you access to all the all these functions and all these variables, you will get everything, access to everything within that particular file. That means if you are running python script.py, you won't be the code will execute and everything will end. Okay, so you won't have access to anything. But if you are using this command, you will get access to these things within the code. So you can use them and rerun them. So let's say if I'm running this script.py, okay, now I have access to find sum and print name. Okay, so these are like these things, I have access to these things. So I'm going to, okay, print name. So let's say if I'm entering my name here, what this is going to do, this is going to give me the name Amritesh, how are you, right? In the same way, you can access your any other tool, any other function that you have, and even you can write a complete script, and that script will run. So if you have entire script where you have written if name equal to main, and then you have written all them, then those things will also work. Okay, and now let's say if you want to import something from this, you can simply use from from script. You want to import find sum, so that way also you can import. So basic import and export that we do in python, so everything is possible here within this command prompt. So this is how you can deal with the entire coding experience. So this is really interesting. Now let's say if I want to edit things, so I cannot click anywhere and edit things, so right? So that is something you will be using a lot. So if you want to edit something, what you can do, you can simply use this edit, okay, and you can write the file name, and this is another magic command. And what this is going to do, this is going to open a kind of editor. Okay, so every command command line terminal has a kind of a default editor, and it is going to open that editor for you. It is not really advanced editor, but it is kind of basic text editor. It is going to open that for you, and there you can click anywhere and edit that thing, and do a lot of stuff. Okay, so if I'm going to press enter, you will see that a new window has appeared here. So here, as you can see, it is saying GNU Nano, and I have this function. So I can through the arrows you can navigate anywhere. Okay, and you can you cannot use mouse, you can use your arrow keys, and you can move anywhere. So if you want to go up, use up arrow, down, or left, right. Okay, and if you want to write some other example, if you want to add something else, let's say if I want something whatever, if I want I want to capitalize this how, okay, and I want to once I'm done with I left this. Okay, so once I have done this, what I'm going to do, once I have even add another function or do another thing, but just keep in mind this is not going to give you the same indentation. You have to keep in mind that you have to adjust the indentation here, so you can edit everything. And once you're done with that, just try to click Control O. So here all the commands are available here. Okay, so there are location, go to line, to bracket, where. Okay, so once you are done with that, just try to click Control O. Okay, and here it is saying file name to write home k lecture this script.py, and then click enter, and it is going to save everything. Here it is saying wrote 8 lines, and then you can simply Control X, and you are back to the terminal once again. Okay, so it is saying here done executing edited code. So it is not going to print anything at this moment. Why? Because there is no if name.main in my code right now, so it is not going to do anything. It is just going to write this message, and if there were executables, then it would do that, but it's not there right now, so it's not going to do. Now if you run the function print name Amritesh, okay, what this is going to do, it is going to show you the changed version. So as you can see here, earlier we had how are you, now I have how are you. So this is how you can use command terminal to create really interesting projects without using any kind of code editor. And uh, I guess you should use this at least for 1 or 2 weeks and get comfortable writing codes within the command terminals, because this is actually going to help you in the interviews when, let's say, if they tell you don't use any kind of code editor, write the code in MS Word and then show me the execution and everything. So that way, you'll be able to understand what exactly is going on. Now there are other ways of writing the codes. So there is write to file. So this is another way of doing this. Okay, if you have double percentage, that means you can include multiple lines. Here you can specify the file name, and you can write any file name that you want. Then after that you can write all the codes and it will automatically save it for you. Okay, and then you can approach your coding in the same manner. So you can edit that, you can run the script and do whatever stuff you want. So this is really cool, and this is how you can use your command terminal as um, mm, as your code editor. And now let me show you how you can import libraries and creating functions and everything. So that is also there. So IPython allows you to do a lot of things, and that's something you have to practice. So let's say I'm importing import matplotlib.plt. Okay, now I'm importing, let's say, numpy as np. Right, now I'm writing, let's say, plot data. Okay, so I want to, let's say, create a function where I want to plot data. So whenever you're using matplotlib, and this is a library that we use for plotting, in case you're not familiar with it. NumPy is another library which we use for a lot of machine learning things. You do not need to know these libraries if you are not familiar. Okay, I'm just showcasing that whenever you are using matplotlib, just try to write everything within a function and then plot it, because if you are writing the simple code, it will execute it just the moment you click enter. So it's better to include everything within a function and then write everything. Okay, so if I'm writing this function np dot, let's say, linspace. Okay, so you can these are the command suggestions that it is showing me. Okay, and if I'm writing, let's say, and just keep in mind that it does not complete anything for you. So if I'm writing something, it is not going to complete the brackets for me. So here we have taken 100 points from 0 to 10, and here we have taken 100 random values, and what we are going to do, we are going to plot them. Okay, so I'm going to create a figure. Okay, and let's make sure that it's there. Okay, now I want to plot everything, x and y. Okay, I want to label it as data, and I want color to be blue, let's say. Okay, and if you want to show grid, you can show that. Okay, that's not really important. I'm just showing this for you. Right, now once you're done with this, what you can do, you can simply exit from here and plot data. Okay, if I'm writing this plot data, then what this is going to do, this is going to plot everything for me, and you will see that a new box will open. So just to show you, I'm going to reduce this window size, and I'm going to execute this code. So notice a new window pops up, and I'm able to see see all these plots. So it's really great, right, that I'm able to see the like graph. This is like really great. So if you navigate on these plots, you can see in the corner there is some things changing. Okay, so it's like these are the values, x and y values that are changing. You can like make any kind of graph, and this will give you these graphs. So for that you have to have matplotlib and numpy installed. This was just a demonstration for you, just to show you that this command terminal is capable of a lot of things. So especially when you are using IPython, and you can do a lot of stuff, and that too without using kind of any kind of library or anything as such. So like you're not library, any kind of editor. So you are not using any editor, anything as such, and you are able to execute everything. So we have like achieved everything that code editors do. Now obviously code editors are more productive, and you should definitely use them. There is no doubt about that, and none of them are going away from the market, not anytime soon. There will always some options there, but still you should be comfortable writing codes in command terminal, and you should use IPython because it is really a cool library, and it gives you a really a professional experience. Whenever you show this to somebody, it gives you like look and feel of like, hey man, this really looks cool what you're doing. So like this will force you to actually write codes in the correct manner. You'll be able to like know when to use parentheses, where things are there, how to add indentation and everything. So it kinds of like enforces all the basic concepts that Python has, and this these things are hidden behind the abstractions in code editors, which are which actually do all the auto completion and suggestions for you. So it's kind of like you'll write better code, you will make less mistakes, and you will start getting better and better whenever you are writing. So you won't be making a lot of mistakes, you won't be doing any kind of things. So it requires like kind of some kind of exposure to the command line terminals, and you will be really comfortable after this. So it's like it's all about practice. Just try to practice, and try to use command line for 1 week, and once you have like a basic understanding that how to use everything, and then you will be really comfortable using command line terminal, and you won't have to face any kind of issue. Okay, you won't be scared. Also, these are just some limited you can say functionalities that I showed you, just to just to teach you that how you can use command lines as your core editor. But there are definitely other other stuff. IPython is really a powerful library because Jupyter Notebook uses that as well. So if you are familiar with Jupyter Notebook, you know that, right? So you can use this, and I highly recommend practicing this thing for at least 1 week, and just get comfortable with the command line terminal. Okay, and now the next thing you can do is go and read everything in the documentation IPython if you want something else, because there are so many other magic functions like this. Okay, save, edit, and run, and everything like that. So there are other magic functions as well. So just try to see them and see what you can like achieve. Okay, and I hope you learned something from this particular tutorial, and that's it man. If you like this video, if you learned something new, just make sure to subscribe to this channel, and I highly appreciate your support. Just thumbs up, just make sure to like this video, because this will push my videos to more people. And also, if you're interested in learning machine learning or data science, please visit my website neuraldemy.com. And if you have any question, please ask in the forum on my website. Okay, so the link will be available in the description. If you have any kind of trouble, if you're facing any kind of issue here, please ask in the discussion forum on the platform. So in the comment section, it is really difficult to explain, but if you're asking it on the website forum, that way other people will also be able to discover the solution if they are struggling. So people cannot actually search for your solutions in the YouTube comment section from the Google. Okay, so that's it for this particular tutorial. I hope this was informative.